If they'd told me I'd end up in Alaska hanging out with wild bears, I'd have said, "You're crazy." Especially as I know what happened to the last bloke who tried it. He was eaten alive. Nevertheless, there I was, off to meet a fascinating character called Charlie Vandergaw. Every summer he goes bush and lives with his bears. Not tame little teddies, but big black ones and even bigger grizzlies. Strangely enough, Charlie is an ex-hunter who, after one extraordinary encounter, decided he'd rather befriend bears than shoot them. He calls his little patch of paradise Bear Haven, and from the first breathtaking moment of this story, you can see why. In the wilds of Alaska, after the snow has melted, a truly remarkable relationship rekindles. They call him the Bear Whisperer, but Charlie Vandergaw prefers to be known simply as a retired schoolteacher. A man who'd rather spend his summers with wild bears than people.
God, that girl. Now, I imagine there's people all over with betting pools on how long I'm going to survive, which is fine.
What do your friends and family think when they see you doing this?
That I'm crazy.
Charlie Vandergaw is no scientist, and this is not a zoo. It's Charlie's summer home, the property he built more than 20 years ago, where black bears and a giant grizzly, both potential man-eaters, roam freely. Incredibly, despite the risks, these explosively dangerous animals are welcome guests.
I've been slapped. I've been knocked unconscious. I've been T-boned by large bears and knocked to the ground and had a hard time getting up. I've been thrown to the ground by bears. But it was in no way that any of those was an all-out attack. I guarantee you I wouldn't be sitting here today if a bear had given me an all-out attack. At the same time, it's probably like anything else. If you've got thousands of hours with bears, the odds are... Quit it. The odds are mounting.
Don't hit him like that. Don't do that, please.
To be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect when we flew north from Anchorage to Charlie's Bear Haven. Up here, the taxis need wings. There's no roads. After 40 minutes flying through bear country, I touched down on the runway Charlie carved out of the wilderness.
G'day. Charlie, is it?
Yeah, it is.
How are you? Liam.
How are you?
Good to meet you. Well, this is Bear Haven, is it?
Mm-hmm.
House guests here already?
There's some around.
I'll stay close to you.
Here, it's not a matter of you finding the bears, they find you. They're everywhere. Believe me, it takes some getting used to. Today, there's 6 black bears roaming around. And remember, they're wild, unpredictable, and very powerful.
Look at how wide she is across the chest. Sheer power. Don't. She's all right. Now.
You say she's all right.
She is. Look at her. Does she look like an angry animal?
Well,
No.
do you really want me to answer that?
Looks like a happy bear. Come here.
Not exactly Yogi Bear, that's the problem. What are you trying to prove, though, by being so close to bears?
Nothing. When I look at a bear, it says, pet me. It's like a horse or a dog or a cat. Only it's a bear. It's a wild thing. I get them to come to me. And I know that
What was that?
she's chasing another bear.
I've got to tell you, it's a bit weird being this up close and personal to a black bear in the wilds of Alaska. Charlie says her name's Lady. She's been coming here for about 13 years. Every now and again, you've got to pinch yourself and remember that this is not exactly the family dog you're dealing with.
If this animal wanted to do us harm now, it would be like a chainsaw gone berserk. You cannot defend yourself against this animal.
You've never worried that any of those bears, even grizzlies, may eat you?
No, I don't even think about being eaten. Why would they want to eat me? Only a hungry bear, a starving bear, would eat a human.
But is there a chance?
Yeah.
Charlie?
There are chances that there's a deranged bear or sick bear that might decide that I was a prey.
Got a slight visitor here. It's a bit difficult to ask you another question at the moment. So we'll just take a break. Right. Well, I'm glad you're confident.
Surely you're not afraid of that animal.
Well, there's a small part of me that is afraid of that animal, yeah.
But don't you look at the way the animal looks? Are its ears back? Is it snarling? Is her hair standing on end?
Well, I haven't got that far, Charlie. I'm just looking at a bear in the wilds of Alaska.
Okay, so that's exactly what I do. Only I'm careful to look at the bear. I see a creature with eyes and with lips and with teeth and with ears,
I see the teeth.
hair.
I see big teeth and big claws. But you have been a hunter, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I hunted hard for years.
Did you hunt bears?
Yes, I did.
Charlie wasn't always such an animal lover. For years, he was an ardent hunter, and even now respects the rights of others to kill. But then, one summer's day, he had a life-changing encounter. A huge black bear appeared at the house and crawled up to him on its belly.
A big black bear on his stomach.
Big black bear on his stomach. And that's a very subservient posture for a bear to get into. So I started doing the same thing.
So you're on your stomach with an adult bear,
A big adult bear.
thinking, am I going mad?
No, this bear wanted me for a friend. Pure and simple. He was willing to make himself small to show that he wasn't trying to dominate me.
And that was the start of the love affair.
That was the start.
He called the bear Big Jack, and pretty soon he was followed by others. The way to a bear's heart is through its stomach, so Charlie used food to bond with his new neighbours. This is the only place in the world where you'll find grizzlies and black bears side by side. He's had as many as 27 bears in the yard at one time.
I will tell you something, it's very satisfying for me to feed a wild animal. I love to feed animals. Food it's what it's all about with a bear. They either eat or they perish. She spends approximately half of her life in hibernation. And the rest of the time she's eating.
She eats plenty of it too, by the look of her.
Oh, She will be magnificent by the end of September. She'll weigh a couple 100 pounds more.
So she'll put on a couple of 100 pounds in the next few months.
Yes.
Thank goodness we're here now.
Oh.
For years, Charlie shared his property with generations of bears. And aside from family and a few friends, the outside world was oblivious to the extraordinary relationship he developed with them. It was only recently that authorities found out about Charlie's secret life, and they were not happy.
What he's doing is clearly illegal, and it's illegal because it's dangerous. And it's dangerous both to people and ultimately to bears.
How much longer will your department tolerate what Charlie's doing?
Well, if it was up to us, we wouldn't tolerate it any longer. But in Alaska, it's a little different than some places.
But you'd shut him down tomorrow, would you?
The Alaska Department of Fish and Game would, yeah. Well, this bear, I'm standing here looking at it. It's just torn down a bird feeder.
For Wildlife Officer Bruce Bartlett, bears are the #1 management issue in summer. Keeping them out of Alaskan suburbs is a nightmare. And feeding bears is strictly illegal. Charlie is viewed by officials as a rogue, teaching his bears very bad habits.
Oh, get down.
You think he's setting a bad example, do you?
Absolutely. And, it's going to end up poorly for the bears, because then when bears, when we've trained them to come to people for food, and they come to people and a problem's created, almost inevitably the bear ends up dead.
That's what they say. A fed bear is a dead bear. If they go from here to my neighbor's and start trashing his place and looking for food, they're dead.
But you don't want to see that.
That would be terrible. The only thing I can say to you is that in all the years I've been here, I don't believe I've lost a single bear to a neighbor.
He's living on the edge. And we had the famous incident here several years ago where another bear whisperer, Timothy Treadwell, and he finally pushed his luck too far, and he got killed.
For once there is weakness, they will exploit it, they will take me out, they will decapitate me, they will chop me into bits and pieces. I'm dead.
Timothy Treadwell was the self-proclaimed protector of grizzly bears. For 13 years, he shared their domain, but then he was eaten alive.
What is the difference between what you're doing and what Timothy Treadwell tried to do?
It's as different as night and day. I've come in here and established my territory. And the bears know it's my territory. They're the ones that are coming to me. Timothy was living in the wilderness with totally unhabituated grizzly bears.
You're saying he invaded their territory, whereas they're coming to yours.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Now, no. She's getting quite upset with me now.
Should we move?
No.
We're okay here?
You're perfect. She's not upset with you.
Bloody hope not.
Charlie Vandergaw is without a doubt one of the most intriguing men I've ever met. He knows the outside world sees him as a maverick, whose walk on the wild side could cost his life. But that is a price that Charlie is willing to pay.
Well, what do you want me to do? Say I want to die wearing a diaper in a nursing home? If I'm capable of having wonderful, exciting, happy days creating this place and playing with these bears, who's the winner? Am I like some sorry sucker having to work till he's 70 in an office? Is that living? No, I beg to differ with you. That's existing. I live out here. Every day is wonderful out here.